Hey Clashes, the strongest strategy after Mashup Mania event is this Warden Charge Mass Rocket Loon strategy. It is outperforming every other strategy, but it is not that easy. I will show you though how to make good use out of all of those troops and the heroes, and equipment wise you're super flexible. You can combine pretty much most of the common with one of the epic equipments for the Barbarian King. Gauntlet, Spiky Ball, both work great. You can combine that with the Earthquake Boots, with the Vamp Stash, even with the Rage Vial. Everything should work for this strategy. And the same for the Queen. Frozen Arrow, Giant Arrow, Invisibility Vial, Healer Puppet, Magic Mirror, everything works. Just use whatever you have upgraded. For this video, I will go with the Magic Mirror and the Healer Puppet, as this is right now my favorite combination for the Queen in the entire game. Even for the Warden, you have multiple options. Yes, that sounds crazy, but I will show you in the video that you don't even need the Fireball. This might sound strange, but you're all going for passive damage equipments for the Warden, which is the Rage Gem. That's the most important one. Then you can go with the Fireball or with the Life Gem. All of those have passive damage boost for your Warden, and that's the most important thing. The Fireball is here to deal even more damage in a short time, so that the time problem is not a problem whatsoever for your attack itself. But I will prove to you that you can even swag that equipment entirely. For the Royal Champ, you can as well go with multiple options. The most powerful ones are for sure the Spear and the Shield, or the Haste and the Hot Rider Puppet together. All of those work great. So you can see already this strategy is pretty much usable by everyone. It's all about if you can execute it properly. So I will show you how that's done and what the tricks are you have to overcome to be a master with this specific strategy. So the approach with this attack is pretty much that you have a Warden charge somewhere, and that charge is going for the entire 3 minutes. The Fireball is just giving you the option of dealing a lot of damage, so you're not time failing in the end. Then you want to have a hero dive with King and Queen somewhere different to make sure that, well, you can as well deal even more damage to the base, because that's your main force, the heroes. So let's find a nice spot. I think for this one, a really solid spot might be around this bottom side, a Test Loon, then obviously the healers behind. We can use the Beddragon right here. Again, it's important that you're deploying the heroes then later out of range. Let's just first see that the Warden is surviving out of range of the Warden. Otherwise, you might lure them away. As well, let's deploy some minions, because remember, the Angry Jelly is going to be it's going to run out at some point, so the Warden is going to turn around, and we don't want to have him being stuck on too many of those outside biddings for too long. Let's raise this up so the Warden is surviving, and then we can use the Fireball to get into the core of the base in just a second, which we should get. Let's just do that. Come on, go for the mortar next, and I think then we can use the Fireball into the core. Go for the mortar, please, thank you. Fireball now, and we should get everything in the core. Exactly, the Clank House is going as well. Next thing for us, we're trying to funnel the Warden into the middle of the base so we can go for the Town Hall. Now we're trying to find a good location for our heroes where they are not going to lure the Warden away from the Town Hall. That would be a really big problem for us, because he eventually is supposed to get towards the Town Hall. Let's use the Queen on this side. The King should get the Eagle eventually. And we can still use some more Rocket Loons to push really the Warden inside. Make sure that he's surviving, because there's a lot of damage on him. We can use that King ability. Spiky Ball should push the Warden eventually into the core. Perfect for us. Now let's use that Queen ability. We can wall break her in. And remember, we still have the Royal Champion, a lot of Rocket Loons, and we have not even deployed the Siege Machine just yet. So yeah, things are looking quite nice for us, I would say. King eventually is going down, but we can use that Royal Champion up there. Warden, let's just protect him. Let's rage him up again. Queen is still looking fine as well. We can turn her invisible as well. And Royal Champion ability in just a second, so this base is just crushed. We have not even used the Siege. We have not even used all of the Rocket Loons. I hope by now you can tell why this strategy right now is the strongest strategy in the entire game. Why was it not in rankings really so far in most of my strategy videos and everything, is because in my strategy videos, I try to have those rankings based on two things. Firstly, it is about how strong strategies are, but as well how difficult those are. This strategy is the number one power-wise, but it's not as easy to execute. That is the important problem here. And this is why a lot of times it was not in my rankings, because if we compare it to Dragon Riders, for example, this is super simple, right? Like Dragon Riders, just spam them in the base, and it's still incredibly strong. So yes, of course, it's going to be in a high ranking spot if we have the criteria for the ranking being how strong, but how difficult it is. This one, if we just go for power, is the #1 strategy. And I hope I was just able to show it, not using the siege, swagging like 12 rocket dooms or something. It is insane. But hey, that was just one attack. Maybe I just got lucky. Let's just do another one. Well, we have our next base, and this time the core looks really, really nice to get a fireball on. I think that would be quite amazing if we get a fireball there, right? Like on one of those bell towers. Oh boy, that would be a nice thing to get. So let's just give it a try. Let's see if we can make it there. As well, the town hall should go then down with our heroes, or we can go with the siege machine and actually blimp it. Let's see what we're going to do. First off, let's get this right. We're going to have a lot of damage in the beginning right there, but that's fine because we have a rage. So that's totally okay. Let's add some minions to already clean things up. We can add some rocket loons, and that's the cool thing about this strategy. It is so damn flexible. It's crazy. You can really adjust things on the fly, things worth. Like, take a look at where things are going and everything. Let's just snipe the air defense right here, snipe the air defense right there. So the warden doesn't need to go there. And then we can slowly make our way towards the core. There's a lot of damage, but that's totally fine. We can blimp the town hall. Should I do it? I think we could easily just blimp the town hall. Actually, we just go in there with the heroes. Now, just concentrate on the warden. Where's the fireball going? I think... yeah, if we turn this invisible... fireball like this. Come on. No! But hey, at the end of the day, I said in the beginning of the video, the fireball is mostly to speed things up. Not to deal like the crazy amount of damage of taking down the buildings, okay? So I think that's still totally fine to get the job done. So let's just prove my point here. But we still have to keep an eye, though, on our warden to make sure everything is staying alive. Queen and king for the town hall. Just like that. Warden is so far still alive. Let's add those headhunters. King ability is still there. We can still use the... Oopala. Let's do this. Okay, king ability for the spiky ball. Warden is okay. Let's use the poison. Let's use this. Let's use the rage here. Turn things invisible. Turn things invisible there. Now we have to be a little bit supportive with that warden because there's a lot of damage on that poor little guy. So you have the siege. Should we try to swag it? I don't think so, but hey. I never do those smart choices. Let's just use the slammer right there. So you have the royal champion. So you have some rocket dunes going. That queen is still looking good. Really good, actually. And we can still distract the back end. So this is going to be completely fine. And this was, remember, this right now is with a completely swagged fireball. The fireball really is doing two things for the strategy. First off, remember, the fireball is giving like a passive damage boost to the warden, which makes those warden charges even better, okay? Because the warden can deal more damage, which then means your warden is moving quicker through the base, which is enabling him to do more damage to the base, so time fells are less big of a problem. The next thing is the fireball itself. And the fireball, as we have just showcased, is not about like taking down a huge part of the base. Yes, that's always cool. That's the great moments to put on thumbnails, or that's the great energy level where you're getting excited because you have taken down a lot of the base in general. But it's not really even needed. It is all about just dealing damage to the base to speed things up even further. So if you guys have, for example, a fireball which is not that highly leveled, that is completely fine. Just make sure that you're hitting as many buildings as possible to speed things up. Not to take them out, but to speed things up, so the fireball is giving you that time advantage with doing a warden charge. Otherwise, you do pretty much the same as I just did. I mean, you can swag the fireball, as I said, then you will still have even swagged rocket dunes in the end. So it is just absurd how strong this strategy is. It's just all about making sure that, well, you're not, I don't know, getting a disconnect or something, because I feel like that's the only way and how you can fail this. One of the reasons why this strategy can be confusing for beginners is because as well you have so many options with the siege machines. Pretty much every single siege machine is viable with this attack. As well, swagging the siege machine, but that's not what we want to concentrate on right now. Instead, I really like the flame flinger. So you're pretty much picking a side where there is a lot of value for your flame flinger to pick up. So for example, I think this bottom side looks really, really solid, right? I think that should be quite nice. Yeah, let's just go for it. So we're going to just snipe this mortar because that is pretty much the only thing which is covering this side. and then we're going in with the Flame Flinger. This can work non-stop while we're going in with the Warden Charge from this side. Obviously, you should be a little quicker, but hey, I want to showcase really to you how everything can work. Then the next thing is to funnel the Warden into the direction you want him to go. This is where this is just so important with the Rocket Loons. I have seen as well like others using like Super Barbarians and things, but that's just not even close to being as efficient. So instead, we now have the Clan Castle getting lured. Another important thing now for us is to get the poison in here. And on top of that, we can now try to snipe the Ground Expo, because with that Ground Expo out of the way, there is nothing outranging my Flame Flinger, which would be massive. So let's just try that. I think 3 Rocket Loons might be already enough. And is it enough? Come on. Yes, perfect. So at this point, the Flame Flinger can just keep going. We have set up the Siege Machine to success, which should be really, really solid for us. So far, so good. The Eagle's actually oh, actually, I think I went into the heroes, which is not optimal, but it's okay. Let's just rage this up. Fireball, do we need it? Not just yet, so that's good. Warden staying alive, that's amazing. Should I actually use the fireball right now? No. Let's just see if we can swag the fireball, because as I said, I want to prove you a point. I want to make sure that you're understanding, yes, the fireball is great and everything, but even if you have it not leveled up, that is not a downfall whatsoever. It's all about the the Warden Charge itself, and that is just, you could use the Life Gem as well if you have it more upgraded, because that equipment is giving you passive damage as well. So that would be completely fine as well, right? Like, this is really the purpose of me showing you this. The Earthquake, though, I will use it because it's going to damage a lot of those buildings to soften them up and dealing a lot of damage, because, as I said, time is always a factor with this strategy. Queen can deal more damage, that is great. The Warden should eventually go into the core. Let's just try to get things in that direction, just like that. Queen going down is okay. Wardens just keep going. We can rage him up a little bit, and then we can add that Royal Champion with her ability, just like that. Add some cleanup behind, and then we should get that 3-star in the end, because as you can tell by this point, time is the biggest thing, and this is what I mean with, okay, the fireball is just there to speed things up even further. It's not to take down buildings. Yes, that's great and everything, but that's not the main aspect of the fireball, okay? Like, I really want to make sure that that's clear, because I will see already people saying, hey, I cannot play this strategy because I don't have the fireball upgraded, whatever. We don't need it. We don't need it. The Warden Charge itself is just so strong. It's not about the fireball, it's about the Warden Charge and the passive damage stats which those equipments provide. And the Warden Fireball itself as a damage equipment is just great to deal even more damage to a big area of the base, to make sure that you don't have those time issues as I had in the last attack. Either way, I hope that you enjoyed this video. The strategy link is down below in the description. Make sure that you're practicing this attack before you using it in Clan War, Clan Week, wherever, because it's not an easy strategy whatsoever. But once you master the Warden Charges, not the Fireball, the Warden Charges, you are going to have a great time right now in Clash of Clans, because it is just so incredibly powerful. Equipment-wise, well, you have a lot of options. You can go with the spiky ball as I did, you can go with the gauntlet, you can go with a lot of different options. I know a lot of people love the Vem stash, for example, as well. Go with it. That's totally fine. This strategy will work either way, as long as that Warden is staying alive. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.